All right, everybody. We have Keaton Ellis with us today. First question, we'll go to Mark Brennan with Fight on State. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, Keaton, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Great. I appreciate you doing this. I wonder what it was like for you emotionally last week when you heard about the phased return. And can you take us through what it's been like for you these first few days of it? Has there been testing involved? I mean, what's kind of going on for you guys?
Yeah. So when I first heard the news, I was really excited. Obviously, because this it's the first step in trying to get back to normal, getting everybody together, start practicing and that kind of stuff. So this first phase, I got tested the other day, and so went through all that. We did physical stuff. So that's what this week's been really is making sure everybody's healthy and getting kind of everybody's return physical stuff done. But I'm just really excited and excited to be back and moving forward.
Next question is Greg Pickle, Penn Live.
Hey, Keaton, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you so much. Can you just tell us what it's like now to be waiting around so you can work out next week, and what can you do in the interim to sort of build up to that point?
Yeah, so I've been working out on my own throughout the whole quarantine. Me being in state college, I was able to use the fields and on my weight room. So I'm kind of doing those same things now. Just get ready till we start coming back soon to lifting with the team and doing all that. But I'm just really excited, like I said before.
Ben Jones, statecollege.com.
Keaton, when you go through the process of a summer before your first season, how is that different from going through the process of the summer now? Obviously, everything that's happened has made the routine a little different, but in terms of where your head's at, how is it different now compared to a year ago?
I mean, a year ago, you put in the same work. It's more structured because you're with the strength staff, and they're working personally with you. So what's been different there has been that personal connection with the strength staff. We still call them, they still talk to us, make sure we have good situations and doing the right workouts, that kind of stuff. So as far as preparation, not a whole lot's changed. Just the situation, right? So you're putting in the same work, and I think I'm a little bit even more motivated, right? Because you're seeing sports, that stuff can go away in an instant. So you gotta take it as a blessing to be able to try and get back and play, and which we're working really hard, and we're excited for the season.
Next up is John Sauber, Center Daily Times.
Hey, Keaton. Thanks for taking the time today. I appreciate it. So I know you spoke to state high coaches and student athletes last week about racial injustice. What was that conversation like, and what was your message to those guys?
Yeah, that was a really powerful call. It was some students from each of the sports teams, some students, on like student council, that kind of stuff, and teachers, coaches. So it was a good group of people, and it was pretty much the leaders at my high school and State High, right? So, I just was trying to preach to them that if they're on this call, they have power and they have influence in their community, and they can make a huge impact even in state college. And I just told them spread love, unity, and another thing I said, what sports is makes sports so powerful is it brings a lot of people from different backgrounds, different races, that kind of stuff together. So I just said use that and be the influence, and spread love and just do those things. And it was a great platform, and I'm glad people are making the effort to have communication, have these talks, and so everybody can understand and educate themselves. And so that's basically what I was saying in that meeting. And Penn State did something very similar, and it's just really exciting, and it's the right steps for change. And I think I was thankful I was able to speak and be a part of that.
Our next question is Audrey Stutter, The Athletic.
Keaton, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Yep.
Going back to the testing and all of that, I'm curious now, having gone through it, how would you describe the process of getting the COVID-19 test? And have you guys been told yet in terms of what your access to the building will be like, and those types of things, since it's going to be such an adjustment for everybody?
Yeah, as far as the test, it was a unique experience. It wasn't too evasive, but it was, it took 15 seconds tops, so it was quick. But as far as access to facilities, they're being very strict. They got a lot of stuff in place, so we can move forward successfully. So right now we're strictly going to be in Haluba for the most part. So, but that stuff will evolve as time goes on, and they're just looking out for our health, which is good. So they have a really good plan to put in place.
Next question is Rich Scarcella, Reading Eagle.
Hi, Keaton. Thanks for your time. Follow up on Audrey's question, and I think you touched on this. But are you concerned at all about your safety with regards to coronavirus? And do you feel, it sounds like you feel like the right steps are being taken? Secondly, what was it like that first time on Monday, returning to Haluba and maybe seeing some of your teammates for the first time in 3 months?
Yeah, it was great seeing some of those guys, and everything is not going to be normal, when you go back, and you have to understand that, and I understand that, and all the team understands that, and we're ready to, as players, to make some sacrifices, because that's what it's going to take to move forward. And like I said, they have a good plan put in place, and I believe we can get through this stuff successful. And I'm not worried. I'm excited, and where everybody's excited because we want to play football, and that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, playing the sport we love. So we're gonna have to go through some different things, in order to do that.
Next question is Donnie Collins with the Times Tribune.
Hey, Keaton, I'm just wondering, once you got back, what was the most familiar thing that you guys saw, and what was the strangest thing that about getting back and having it not be normal? And also, how often do you think you guys are going to be tested? Has that been articulated to you guys yet?
No, not specifically. It's going to be whether this whole, if you have symptoms and that kind of thing, and contact tracing. So that's probably how it's going to be going, but we haven't got any specifics about that. But the most familiar thing is the people. The people are still the same. You still have the same connections that you had before, and it was great to start to see people and talk to them, because you haven't seen them for a while. So that's probably most the familiar thing. And then the most different thing going back for me is just the structure of everything. It's walking in mass. It's 6 feet apart. It's it's all this different stuff. When you're gonna work out, you're gonna get these gator stuff. So it's those little things that don't seem, but there's like little changes that really make a big difference. But like I said.
Next question is Tyler Donahue, Lions 247.
Hey, Keaton, good afternoon. Thanks for your time today. We had a chance to speak with Tariq a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about your class of cornerbacks, you, Daquan, Joey, and Marquise. How would you evaluate that group, and specifically with you getting that start last year in the regular season finale? Can you kind of take us into the battle for the starting cornerback job that was left by John Reed, and what your expectations are? Yeah, I mean, we have a very talented group right now. I mean, across the board and all the corners, and especially in our class. And it's going to be a battle, right? So it's competition. It's no spots given. Even Tariq's spot's not given. So we're all working very hard and pushing each other, because if we're all getting better, then we're better as a team, better as a unit. And I think we have good camaraderie in the room, and we all work very hard and push each other. So I'm excited.
Frank Bodani with the York Daily Record.
Hi, Keaton. You mentioned the word sacrifice a little bit earlier. What kind of sacrifices do you envision having to make, and what do you think might be one of the tougher, or a couple of the toughest things going forward to get adjusted to now?
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of different things, you know, as far as working out and practicing and going, you know, through all the different stuff that comes with, you know, the protocols that they put in place. And one of the biggest sacrifices is probably going to be outside of Lash, outside of football, you know, making sure everybody's, you know, being accountable for each other and standing inside the team and not going out and doing different things that could risk and jeopardize the, you know, people who do the coronavirus. So, you know, we're all going to have to make some sacrifices. But I think as a team, we're all prepared to do that and just to move forward.
Next question is Nubias Wilborn with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Hey, what's up, brother? Thanks for doing this, man.
Thank you.
Question for you, like what over these last 3 months have you learned about yourself or maybe about a teammate that you wouldn't have learned without this quarantine time?
Yeah, you know, it's honestly, you know, with the quarantine time and, you know, the situation in America, you know, I have had a lot of conversations with, you know, my teammates and friends and different things, just about what's going on and how they feel, and, you know, what's some stories. And I think, you know, I learned a lot about myself too, and other people as far as like their situations, what other people are going through during this time, because we're all going through the same things. And, you know, we just had those conversations, you know, about how they're feeling. And so I felt like I was able to kind of honestly get closer to some people in that aspect, right? You know, we're all quarantined, we're all, you know, in our bubbles, you know, and then with all this other stuff going on, I was able to have a lot of good conversation with people. So I say nothing specifically, but I say I definitely was able to get closer with a lot of people through this. And I think the team itself is getting a lot closer through meetings and stuff like that, just still having those conversations and building those connections.
Next question is Mark Wogenrich, SI.com.
Keaton, thanks so much for doing this today. Coming up on Monday, what's that going to look like? What time do you go? Where do you go? What do you get to do? That sort of thing.
I don't have details right now, but right now we're lifting 3 days a week, lifting and running through Haluba, and, you know, start our normal workouts like we would before, you know, but with some different, you know, nuances as far as spaced out locker rooms and, you know, working out in the open outside, lifting in Haluba outside, so different things like that. But we're gonna each week, you know, we're gonna start getting closer to a normal schedule that we usually would have, because, you know, we're getting right back into the swing of things as far as workouts and, you know, meetings and all that.
Next question is Andrew Porterfield, Daily Collegian.
Hey, Keaton, thanks for doing this. So coming off your freshman year, what are some improvements that you would like to make coming into your sophomore season, and how have you been making those adjustments throughout this quarantine time?
Yeah, so a big thing for me is just maturing as a football player, you know, understanding the game more, you know, understanding our playbook and understanding offenses. So mentally, you know, we've had a lot of good meetings, you know, through Zoom, just to get mentally, you know, prepared for, you know, the season. That's something I'm pushing myself to work on. And as far as football specifically, you know, finding the ball in the air, my footwork, just lifting my game in all levels, and stuff I'm working on is stuff I'm good at and stuff I'm not good at. So I'm just trying to, you know, work on everything and just keep becoming better each day.
All right, we have time for another round of questions. If you do not have a question the second time around, just say pass. We'll go Mark Brennan, Fight On State. Hold on, Mark. Go ahead.
Hey, Keaton, you talked a little earlier about the camaraderie among the corners from your recruiting class. Can you discuss that a little bit more? How tight are you guys, and how difficult is it to keep that tightness when you're competing for jobs against each other?
Yeah, it's sometimes hard, right? Because that's the guy you're trying to steal his job, and everybody knows it. You know, it's not, you know, we don't hide that. You know, coach is very, you know, open. You know, he says what's what, and so we all, you know, completely understand that, and I think it makes us all work harder. and just us, especially the younger guys. We're working, to get those spots, the starting spots. And even though we were younger, we still competed with each other, and you saw we were all able to get on the field and contribute. And I think that's what's really special about us, because if one of us isn't doing as well, we pick them up just because of the competition and the hard work, and we've just been building camaraderie, just because we're always together, right? Meetings and this and that, we're always together. Practice, we're always together. So it's just a competition, and it's fun, and I love it.
Greg Pickle, Penn Live.
This might seem silly, but when we saw you guys work out in February and also last year at Lift for Life, there's a lot of closeness to that, encouragement and celebration, high fives, things like that, things that aren't really advisable in this day and age. Have you given any thought to what motivation and congratulations look like for workouts under these conditions?
Yeah, it's going to be different. I think obviously verbally, that's the biggest thing. Because you're not gonna have that physical contact, the daps, the high fives, the chest pumps. You won't have as much of that as you did before. But I think it's still gonna be the same. The leader's still gonna be vocal, and if someone makes a good play or someone is working hard, you can still let them know and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think that much is gonna change on that aspect of it.
Ben Jones, statecollege.com.
Keaton, kind of a two-parter. Memorial is almost done. Have you been by there recently? And the other part of that is, I know Micah has argued a lot for getting the ball in his hands, but you might have a better argument for that kind of thing. Have you advocated for yourself at all in that department with a year under your belt now?
Yeah, no, I jokingly sometimes, I'd be like, let me touch the rock a little bit, but they see when I'm done, but it's up to them. But it's probably not something that you'll see in the near future, but it's something I'd like to do, if the opportunity comes. But it's more of a jokingly thing between the coaches. But as far as Memorial, yeah, I drove by there. It's nice. it's nice. Those new bleachers, I think the main thing, they didn't really take away from the character of Memorial, because that was my biggest thing. It's a different atmosphere there, playing in the middle of town, and it's a really unique atmosphere on that side. So, I'm really excited for those younger guys, to be able to have that experience and play in a really nice facility. And, I'm kind of bummed I wasn't able to play in it, but, it's what it is.
John Sauber, Center Daily Times.
Hey, Keaton, how do you feel coming out of your freshman year? Do you think you're ahead of where you expected to be when it comes to your development?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know if I'd say ahead, but I think I'm definitely, I've improved a lot, especially playing early, it forces you to kind of mature faster, I think. So, I believe that, from after the season, I have more confidence. Obviously experience is key, especially at this level, is having the experience and just getting more comfortable each and every snap and each and every play, each and every day. So I definitely feel like, I learned a lot and definitely matured more and I was a better player from it.
Audrey Snyder, The Athletic.
Keaton, going back to some of the logistics that you were talking about earlier with everything, I know some teams are doing it where they're leaving the building and they're getting meals handed to them because they can't go and eat anywhere. They're getting clothing handed to them to wear to the next workout. Have you guys talked through any of that at all? And I'm assuming this also means no access to the players' lounge, if you've been told that?
Yeah. So we're not going to have a players' lounge or what you call I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, they call Evolve, but we're not going to have like a nutrition bar. Everything's going to be given to us after workouts and, our loops and stuff. Take some of the stuff home. Other stuff, it stays to wash like it normally would. So there'll be some changes, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff is going to be different.
Rich Garcella, Reading Eagle.
Keaton, to follow up on that, have they told you what position meetings might be like or team meetings? Because Coach Franklin a few weeks ago said he doesn't think there'll be team meetings per se. So I was just wondering if that has been addressed.
Right. Yeah. We're still on Zoom right now, and we will be, until further notice. And obviously, with the times, you can't have 150 people in one room. You just can't. It's not. Everybody's saying you can't, so it's not smart. So it's gonna still be Zoom, like we have been. That's not gonna change.
Next up is Donnie Collins, Times Tribune.
Keaton, on the same note, there's a possibility there's not going to have 107,000 people in a stadium, and it'll be a much more sparsely filled place than that. Considering the atmosphere you guys usually get, do you anticipate that'll be much of an adjustment as it gets nearer?
Yeah, you always talk about the 12th player, right? The fans they're the best. They really can change a game and change a play, just by their support and, being vocal. So that's definitely going to be a change for us. But as far as mindset playing, I think we're all, just going to be just as hungry, and, we'll find, somewhere within the, find the extra juice that you normally would get from the fans. We're all going to find a way to still get that. But, fans can change the game. It's part of a culture. It's part of a team. They're an extension of us, and, it's going to be a lot different, not having that same, same fan base there. So.
Nate Bauer, Blue White Illustrated.
Hey, Keaton. Just a positional question for you, but can you describe how much more difficult it is to make an interception at this level than maybe high school, and what goes into that? Why is it so tough to come up with turnovers?
Yeah, it's a different, level of play, different speed. It's you can make one mistake and that could be a difference, right? So there's multiple progressions even throughout a route. Defending it's pre-snap. It's where at high school you're more athletic, so you kind of can just go out there and you'll find the ball and you'll do this and that just based off of that. But everybody's on the same level as you. Everybody is either just as talented, not as talented, but just as talented or even more talented. So, you just have to, there's a lot more that goes into it, as far as mentally and physically that, is way different from high school. And, that's why, it's much more, fulfilling to make a play at the college level for sure.
Tyler Donahue, Lions 247.
Keaton, a big storyline this offseason, one that we're waiting for answers on, is the wide receiver group outside of Jahan Dotson. You got a long look at a lot of those guys we haven't really seen in extensive game action over the course of practices and offseason workouts. What's your expectation in that room? Could you give us a few names that especially stand out based on what you've seen from competition that maybe we should expect a breakout year from those players?
Yeah, no, I'm excited about everybody. DG, the Florida boys, JD and TJ. Cam Brown too, who's been battling through some stuff, but they're talented and they're hungry too. In practice, they're hard workers and they're ready, to step up. And that's their mentality. All of them, they're ballers. So, they're gonna step up and play, and I'm just excited to watch them.
Frank Bodani, York Daily Record.
Hey, Keaton, can you describe the effect, presence of Lamont Wade on the defense, on maybe the whole team? And can you even see any of that during the whole virus situation?
Yeah, he's a leader. He's a natural born leader. Vocally, and he forces you, and pushes you and motivates you. Through his play, through his attitude. He's always upbeat. He's always talking. He's always doing those things, and he's been a great leader. And I think he stepped up a lot last year for sure, and he's doing the same now. So I'm it's great playing with him. Being able to play with him. Just to have that leadership back there.
Tobias Wilborn, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
Two things. One, when you were explaining how the workouts would go, I think I lost you on the screen there. I know you said 3 times lifting, and then the other part is once you guys get back going, what are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, so we're gonna be lifting 3 days a week, running 2 or 3 days. Still have our meeting. What was the second question?
Then what are you most looking forward to?
I just getting back with my teammates is probably the biggest thing, and start building that camaraderie for the season, and working together and sacrificing together, and sweating together and bleeding together, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day is the team camaraderie. And we haven't had that in the spring ball. We didn't have spring ball, so we couldn't build that. So I'm just excited to get back with my teammates and start grinding again.
All right, we got time for a few more questions. Mark Wogenrich, SI.com.
Keaton, having been apart from these guys for 2 months, what were you able to do with them this week so far, besides get tested?
Yeah, it's seeing we get some food with some guys, and then you're just seeing them passing by, right? And in town, and we see them around the facility, saying what's up, that kind of thing. So because we haven't had a lot of whole structured stuff yet together, so it's been kind of sparse, see a play here and there kind of thing.
Andrew Porterfield, Daily Collegian.
Yeah, so Keaton, with your dad playing at Penn State and you obviously growing up in State College, how has it felt so far to continue that family legacy in college?
Yeah, and it's awesome, to look at that, and my dad's been an inspiration to me, and he motivates me, every day. Just being that father figure and pushing me, to do the things he was able to do and more, right? Because you want to be better than your father. That's all. That's what motivates me, and we joke about it all the time, and have fun conversations about that stuff. But it's really cool, to look at that history and understand it, and understand it, and it's just a blessing, really.
Our last question goes to Jerry DePaula with the Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Keaton, thanks for your time. I was just wondering, you guys did not have any spring drills, maybe getting a little bit of a late start in your summer conditioning. Training camp starts in less than 2 months. Is there enough time to get ready for training camp?
Yeah, I agree. I think me personally, and I think a lot of players, they feel really healthy right now, because we were able to make the best out of our situation, and that's what's special about our team. Our guys, are hard workers. So I think we took this quarantine and this time off, and I think everybody got better. So I'm excited to see everybody come back, and we're gonna be working really hard, obviously in the weight room and conditioning to be in shape and be ready for the start of the season.
All right, thank you very much, Keaton, and thank you everybody for joining us today. Appreciate it.